Yesterday we started with shell scripting and we have seen what is a shell and what is path environmental variable, and then we have seen what is a function in Bash. Basically, function is what you write down. It is nothing but a set of programs that get called very frequently when these program need to be repeated. For example, you want to do a particular action, right? You want to do a particular action on a set of arguments and you want to do it frequently. What you can actually do is you can just define one function that has all these operations in place, then you make call to that function from your working program, right? That's what a function is. We have seen what is variables, right? Variable is nothing but, right, it's the variable that keep a value. It could be an integer, floating point, or, right, it can be a string, anything. And apart from your variable, there are environmental variable that you can define. uh, One example is your path is an environmental variable. Like that, there are other environmental variables also. There is something called user is an variable which is not started by yourself. It is started by default and it contains the value of your current logged in user. So let me go ahead and log into my. Mhm. Yeah, okay. So when I discussed about environmental variable yesterday, I would show you few more environmental variable in Linux. Path is an environmental variable, right? Echo dollar path would show you the value of path variable. Is my voice breaking or do you find any problem with my screen getting delayed or anything? Let me know if you face any such problem.
Your voice is
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's getting stuck. Okay, so I am connected. Now, what I'm going to do is a path is an environmental variable which contains the list of folders where your Linux binaries are located. That's what path is, right? And similarly, there are other environmental variables also. There's a variable called user. User is nothing but whichever user you logged in as, that user name would show up if you look at the value of user environmental variable. And there is something called UID. It would show you the user ID. Or you want to see the group ID, there is something called GID. Or you want to know which shell you are currently logged in, you can run the command shell. It would show you which shell you are using right now. So there are different environmental variables in Linux that you can actually use inside your program, right? These are called environmental variable. And how you would define the environmental variable? If you want to make a modification to this environmental variable, you can always use this export command that we used yesterday, right? We changed the path variable. If you want to add any additional folder into the path variable, you can use the export command to set a new value to the path variable. Export path is equal to, then whatever your new path is, you can specify the new path. But you always mention dollar path colon new path, right? Last day, whenever you yesterday when we wanted to add a new folder into your path variable, you run this particular command. Export path is equal to dollar path colon slash home slash ubuntu. Basically, what it means is dollar path is nothing but your current path. You know what is dollar path? Dollar path is nothing but this complete thing. To that complete thing, you are appending one more folder. That's what you did by setting running this export command. So your new path would contain whatever your existing path was. That means dollar path. Then the new folder. Okay, that's how it is. And then we have seen conditional operators, basically if condition. And we have even seen if a given process is down, how we can use a bash script to start the process. That is also something you can do using a if condition. If condition we used for multiple purpose, right? When we wrote our script, if.sh, right? Or check process.sh is the script we had written. So we used if statement for multiple purpose here. One thing you did for checking if a given process is given value is null or not. That is one purpose that you used it for. Then you had used here, you had checked the if condition for checking if a given process is running or not. So there are various reasons why you would want to use the if condition depending on the situation. And you can see the list of operation that you can perform, the list of condition that you can have in a if condition. From you can search for in Google if bash, then it would show you what are the different condition you can put inside your if statement. LT for greater than, less than, GT for greater than, EQ for equal to, NE for not equal to. So like that, there are different condition that you can put within if. You can see the complete list from here. If the expression is false, or if a given string length of the given string is greater than 0, right? If the given string is empty, if two strings are equal, two strings are not equal, EQ greater than, less than, hyphen D file if the file exists and it's a directory, is what this condition would do. So like that, there are different options that you can use along with your if condition, right? I will send you this link. This here you can get a list. Okay. So we also used yesterday, we used this option hyphen z to check if a given string is empty or not. Then we use this EQ to compare two variables. If dollar question mark is equal to 0. Okay. Okay, the next thing is positional parameters we have seen. So we will just take a quick look once again. I'm creating one more file called post.sh. pos.sh is a script which I want to write. Open it. So I'm putting something like this: echo $1. You know what is $1, $2, $3, etc. Echo $2, echo $3, echo $5. So I'm putting something like this. Then echo $hash, echo $0. You know what is this hash and what is this 0? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You would know. 1 is the first argument, 5 second, 2 second, 3 third, 5 fifth, like that. $hash is nothing but the number of arguments. How many arguments do you have is what indicated by $hash. $0 is nothing but your executable, your file name, whichever script you are executing. That script name would be $0. So let's run this command. I'm going to execute my script. First, let me set the permission 744pos.sh. Then run the script. I am passing some 5 arguments to it, right? So I am passing some, how many arguments? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 arguments I am passing to the script. First, it printed me echo $1 would print me 12. $2 would print me 6567. Then Basil. Then $5 would print me 000. Then at the end, $hash. $hash is nothing but the number of arguments that you have passed to the script. So the script can identify how many arguments that you have passed by looking at the value of $hash. Then $0, what is that? It is nothing but your script. In this case, pos.sh. Great. So these are the different, $1, $2, $3, etc. are called positional parameters. You can even know, sometimes you would come across a situation you want to find out how many arguments were passed to the script. For example, let's say you want to write a script. You write a script, then you pass a number of process names. You want to start all the process in the system. Apache, rsyslogd, like that. A number of process you want to pass to your script. And you want your script to execute, start all those process. So in such a situation, you have no idea how many process you are passing, right? Obviously, you have no idea how many process you are passing. So in such situations, you can use this particular variable, a $hash, to identify how many process are being, right? How many process are being passed, how many arguments are being passed. You can keep a track of that by looking at the $hash variable. Got it? So that's it. Those are called positional parameters, and let us move on to our next slide. The while loop. So the while loop is, what is a loop? Generally, in any programming language, a loop is nothing but iterative execution of a set of program, right? You have a set of program which you want to execute multiple times. So you keep on repeating those operations is what mean by a loop. There are different types of loops. There is while loop, there is for loop. Basically, for example, what while loop does is it would look for a condition, and as long as that condition is true, it will keep on executing a set of commands. Okay, or then you have for loop. What this for loop does is, as long as this condition, I mean, it won't. Yeah, you can even look for a condition also. That's fine. For loop would pass a number of arguments to a loop. For each argument, the operation would be the commands would be run. So there are different types of loops in any programming language. So first we will take a look at the while loop. What while loop does is, it will look for a condition, just like your if condition. It will look for a condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the program. Then after all the program have been executed once, it will again check if the condition is still true. If the condition is again true, it will again execute the program. So it is a infinite loop as long as the condition is true. So let's take a look on while loop. Maybe take a look at this. I'm going to create a new script, while.sh. Let's say count is equal to 0. I'm setting a variable, creating a variable called count with value 100. I'm starting my while loop. While $count equal to 100. This is the statement, right? While $count is equal to 100. The while loop start with a do. It start with a do, end with a done. So it is between do and done. You are going to run your program. So what you are going to do? You're going to write the programs like the value of count is, you put $count. What is $count? It is nothing but the value of count. So basically, what you want to do, you are simply printing out the value of count. That's what you do inside your loop. You print out the value of count. Okay. So what will happen when you get execute this script? It will always check for this condition. If the count is 100, it will execute this statement. After executing the statement, or maybe there can be multiple statements that you can write down here. Echo thanks. So there can be multiple commands that you can put down over here. So all this command will get executed, and after the completion of these programs, it will again check the condition. Count is equal to 100. Yes, count is still equal to 100. Again, it will repeat the steps, and it will continue. It will never stop. Actually, as long as this condition is true, the while loop will continue to getting executed. So I'm going to save this file, and now I am giving it permission 744 while.sh. Now execute it ./while.sh. What would happen? Basically, it would create a infinite loop. It will never stop, right? It keep on printing. It keep on executing whatever programs that you had written within your while loop. There were two commands, two echo statement. Both echo statement keep on getting continuously executed. Now let's say I'm making a small modification into my script. Basically, you can do, you do not want to make it a permanent loop, or there are ways. Let's say I am putting something like this. While count is greater than 110, or maybe less than 110, this is what I want to do. I want to print the value of count. Then over here, I am incrementing the value of count by 1. So basically, what I'm going to do is, count is equal to expr $count plus 1. So basically, what I'm trying to do is, count is equal to count plus 1. That's what it means. EXPR is a statement that is used in Bash for mathematical operations. So EXPR dollar count plus 1 means count would be added by 1. Count is equal to count plus 1. That's what it means. So each time this iteration happen, the value of count is incremented by 1. Let's save this file and let's run this. So initially count would be set to 0. Then it would look for this condition. Then 100 is less than 110. Then the statement will get executed. Then again, after the execution happens, you can see count is incremented by 1. So count would become 101. Again, the condition is checked and the condition has succeeded. It will repeat. And it will repeat till when? Till the count would become 110. Once the count has become 110, this condition will fail. So whenever the condition fails, the loop will exit. So let's run this. This time it prints me count is 100, 101. It prints me up to 109. When it become 110, it will stop. Got it? That's what about. So let's say my intention is I already have a script. Yesterday I created a script to check the RSS log D process, and if it is down, I want it to get restarted. So this is my script, right? I created this script. What this script does is it would restart the process, whatever process that you pass it on. It will check the process, and if it is down, it will start it. That's what this script will do. I will just make sure that once it is this is working, check process.sh. Then you need to pass the rcs log d and rcs log as the arguments. First, this is the process name, and second is the service name. And it says, please provide a valid service name. What? rcs log d, rcs log. It tells me, please provide a valid service name. Why is that? Okay, there is a typo here. It should be service name. Okay, let me execute this script. Now it says rcs log is running, so script is working. So as you know, the script get executed whenever you execute the script. I mean, you manually execute the script each time. Then whenever, if the rcs log is down, it will get started. That's what the script do. So let's say right now what I want to do is I want this script to be executed permanently. Like, I want this script to be never ending, maybe every 10 seconds or something. I want this script to be executed. What I can do, I can create a while loop, right? I can create a while loop and execute this script. And there's a command, sleep 5 is a command which will wait for 5 seconds. It simply wait for 5 seconds and it will terminate. That's what the sleep command would do. So this sleep command is helpful if you want to put, let's say, you run one command, then you need to wait for these many seconds. You can use the sleep command in your shell script. Hidden, yes, that's right. So I'm creating my while script, and I am not putting any count incremental because I want it to be permanent. If count is equal to 100, that would make it a, if count is equal to 100, this condition will make it a infinite loop. What I want to do, I want to execute the program. Which program? Check process.sh. So dot slash check process.sh, then whichever process that you want to pass. And again, this you can pass as a I mean, positional operator, right? $1, $2. The best option is don't put $1, $2 like this. It could be little confusing. It will work, but it is little confusing. So maybe again you would pass them, assign them to some variables called process, or leave it for now. Anyway, so what my while loop script does is it keep on executing this program continuously, never stops, because the condition is always true. So this command never stops. But I don't want it to be executed like that. I want to put a 10-second delay. I can put a command sleep 10. Basically, that would wait for 10 seconds before the next execution begins, because under each iteration I am putting a command sleep 10. Basically, the command simply waits. It simply waits for 10 seconds before the next execution begins. So what I'm trying to do is I am waiting for 10 seconds after this while condition is checked again. So again chmod 744 while.sh dot slash while.sh rsyslog rsyslog. What will happen? Now the script is running, the check process script is running. It is printing me everything is looking good. Rsyslog is running. Then it is waiting for 10 seconds. Yeah, 10 seconds is over. It executed again. So basically, it would execute permanently. It will never stop, right? As long as you have your session open, this script will continuously run. Basically, the check process would be executed every 10 seconds. That's what happens. Got it? Okay. Now let's say, now what I want to do is, if I press Control C, it will exit. Or if you close your putty session, it will close. The script will exit the terminal, exit the execution. So in that case, what you need to do is run the script, put a ampersand at the end. If you do that, the script will start running in the background. Now you can close your putty. Now even if you close your putty, it wouldn't stop. It would keep on getting executed in the background, right? This is also something you can do. Ampersand is a symbol that you can put at the end of any command. If you do that, you will get back the shell. You can work on it, right? It won't stop you from working on it. You can work on it. You can run your other commands. Even if you want to close this session, you can close it also. The script will keep on running in the background. Okay, so that's what this ampersand symbol will do. Floor, I did not floor the log files. I could have, right? Maybe send it to dev null. If I did run this command, then these logs will not come here, right? But yeah, right now the logs are coming. But that's fine. I mean, the logs would flood. Just close the session, open a new session. The logs would flood only on the current session, right? It is not a permanent thing. If you don't send the output to a null device, or if you don't send the output to a log file, it will keep on printing onto your session. That's fine, right? So yeah. And Sharik, this is your first class, right? Sharik, can you hear me? You are on mute actually.
Yeah, this is my first class.
Okay. So, do you have any Linux basics, or you are completely new to Linux?
No, I'm aware of a couple of things in Linux.
Okay. Do you know how to add a user, how to give permission to the
Yeah,
user?
yeah,
Those
yeah,
things you know, right? Cool.
yeah.
Actually, that's all we covered, and then we started with shell scripting yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
shell scripting, maybe you can even skip also. I can give you the shell scripting training later. But yeah, you can continue. You can continue the batch.
Okay.
And
Okay.
there is
Sure.
something which I want you to do. You need to watch a demo video. Did you watch any demo video? Not yet, right?
No, I don't have any link. They didn't give me the link.
I will ask Santosh. He will send you the link. So watch that. And also, I'm going to, once you confirmed, I mean, once I have your confirmation, once I have our consultant's confirmation, I'm going to share the full Google Drive with you. We are recording every day's classes.
Okay. Great.
And anybody else is here who joined today? No, right? Yeah, Amit, I see you. Somebody else? Okay. No, right. Actually, two of your names I cannot see. I don't know the reason. Yeah. Uh, okay, fine. So you can do the executions like this, right? Okay. The next loop that we are going to learn is for loop. This is also a loop working based on a iterative variable, right? Basically, what you can do is you can pass a variable to your script. You can pass a variable to your loop. For each variables, the loop will execute. Maybe let's say there are 10 processes that you want to start in Linux. What you can actually do is uh, write a program to start the given process, and for each process it will repeat. That's what it will do. You run a program. I will show you. I'm creating a new script called for.sh, or maybe this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a folder called f1. Assume I have a sorry, yeah. Let me go into the folder f1. I have no contents here. I'm going to create a number of files: test1, test2, test3, test4, test5, test6. So I'm creating a number of files inside my folder: test1, test2, test3, etc. I have these many files inside my folder. So what I want to do is, whatever files I have in this folder, I want to rename those files and append a .alt towards them. So basically, test1 would become test1.alt, test2 would become test2.alt. So whatever files are there here, I want all of them to be renamed by putting a .alt at the end. What I can do is create a for loop for I in. Basically, I is the iterative variable which I talked about. This variable will contain the values, each values that you are passing to it. So these are the values which I want to pass. I can pass them separated by space: test2 space test1 space test3, like that. I can pass any number of arguments, and what for loop does is it will iterate. That's what every loop will do. It will iterate. For each iteration, I will contain the value of one of these variable. In the first iteration, I is equal to test2. Second iteration, I is equal to test1. Third iteration, I is equal to test3. Like that, I will contain individual values, whatever values that you are putting here. So run this command. It start with a do, then you execute the command. Let's say what you want to do is you want to rename this file to append.alt to the end. What is the command? Mv. is the command in Linux you would use to rename the file. Which file you want to rename? $1, of course. Whichever iterative variable contains that file I want to rename. $i.alt. So if it is the first iteration being executed, then I will contain test2. In that case, test2 will be renamed to test2.alt. So depending on iteration, basically it will repeat for all values of I. So it end with a done. Now you type ls, you can see all files now have been renamed to .alt. Or sometimes you can even put a command within the for loop. Let's say for I in, instead of putting all the files one by one, you can simply run the ls command in a backcourt. So backcourt in bash, what it does is it would execute the given command, replace the output of the command with, replace the command with the actual output of the command. That's what this backcourt does in bash. You put any command in backcourt, it will execute the command, and then whatever the result would be replaced here. So instead of putting all the files one by one, I can simply run the command ls in a backcourt. That would automatically pass all the files to my for loop. So let's say this time what I want to do is I want to, let's say, delete the file. Start with a do, then I want to run the command rm $i. I am deleting the file. So basically I am deleting all the files one by one. Done. Type ls, then you don't see the files anymore. They have been deleted. Got it, right? So this is how you can execute your for statement. It is typically used for there are many purpose. Maybe you want to add a number of uses to your uh, Linux system. So you can basically what you can do is use a for loop for I in, then the list of uses that you want to. Maybe you can rather do this. What you can do is you can create a file. It's /temp.test.txt. Inside this temporary file, you can put whatever details, whatever the uses that you want to add. For example, Ankit, Rakesh, Basil, Eldo, DevOps. So like that, you can add a number of uses, whatever uses that you want to add. Then you can create a for loop for I in cat. So then automatically the input would be taken from this file, temp test.txt file. Cat temp dot, you know what it means. Basically, it would display the content of this particular file, and that content would be replaced in for statement. Basically, now I will contain each line this particular file contains, which is nothing but usernames. So do what you want to do. User add -m $i. You want to create the user. Done. Basically, yeah. Basically, now it create all the uses that you put inside this particular file. Open the etc password. You can see all uses have been added now. And Kit was already there. All other uses have been added now. Or you have a list of IP and you want to copy a particular file to a number of machines. Maybe you have 100 machines you have, and to all 100 machines you want to copy a file. What you would do? Assume you have all the IP address in this particular file, tmp/IP. Right? You have then all the IP address line by line. There are number of IP address. Assume these are IP addresses, not numbers. So there are thousands of IP address that you have inside a file. To all the machine inside this file, you want to copy a file. What you can do? For I in cat, then the file that contains the IPs. Do Then you run your scp command, scp or whatever command you would want to use to copy the file. Scp is a Linux command you can run to copy a file to a remote Linux machine. It would be something like this: test.sh. You want to copy to a remote machine, let's say Ubuntu at the rate. Then you can put $I. Then here you can mention to which location on the destination server you want to copy. So this is one command that you can use in your Linux system that would copy the file test.sh to this particular remote machine, whatever IP address that you provide here. If I put $I, what I am doing basically for each IP address in this file, I am doing this operation, SCP operation. That means to all these machines, I am copying the file test.sh. Now let's say I copy this file test.sh. Now I want to execute this command on the remote machine. There is an option. Using this command, you can execute the script on the remote machine. SSH, the username at the rate hostname. Then you can put whatever command that you want to execute. Let's say sudo dot slash test.sh. You want to execute the script. Then finally, done. Say so these two steps would repeat for all the machine inside this particular file. So you would come across, I mean, these are very useful, is what I'm trying to say. You would come across such situations a lot. Maybe using a for loop, you want to copy a number of files to a number of machines. Or using a for loop, you might want to, get a list of files based on some condition. Maybe you have some hundred or thousands of files that you want to rename, or that you want to copy to a different location, or that you want to delete, right? There can be many situation when you want to work your Linux commands on multiple arguments or maybe multiple files. So in those situations, for loop is extremely helpful. Got it, right? So actually, we need to wind up little early today. Actually, I'm in a hospital actually. So I think, yeah, I think we can stop here. The regular expression I am not starting. That we will start on Monday, and I hope we can finish it by Monday itself. We have few important command. Actually, this is one of the most important topic in shell scripting. Again, like I said, the command that you are going to use most when you work with shell scripting. Shell scripting is more like, probably you are not going to write a big program that can do everything, but you are going to write down lot of small programs that would really help your daily job, right? You don't have to write it all one by one, right? You can do a lot of small automation that would really make your daily job very easier. That's what it is, right? So uh, these the command that we are going to learn under regular expression is also something that you are going to use very frequently, which we will cover on Monday Indian time, right? Monday morning Indian time, which means Sunday evening for US folks, right? Please don't get confused with the timing. It is Sunday evening for US students, Monday morning for Indian students. Yeah. Okay, so any questions?
Basil, Shruti here. Actually, could you please upload yesterday's and today's video, because I missed some part and a bit fast this session. So
Yeah, actually,
maybe if I go through the two sessions, Monday maybe I'll catch you up. Like,
sure. I will upload it.
thank.
Yesterday's I will upload it right away. Today's I will
Okay.
upload it in the
Basically,
next 1 or 2 hours. Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Pedro, Rahul here. Do we have class tomorrow?
No, we don't have class tomorrow. Next class is on Monday. Monday AM for Indian students, Sunday evening for US students. That's when
Okay,
our next
thank you.
class is. We don't have class tomorrow. Amit, I would give you. I already added you to the Google Drive. I will send you the link. And anybody is still here who does not have access to the Google Drive? Anybody here who does not have access to the Google Drive? If anybody is there, please, uh, please get access to that. Access. Yeah, Amit, I just sent you the
And,
link.
Pedro, do we have your email if you have to reach out to you?
Yeah, it's. I will just ping you. I just pinged my mail ID in the chat. If you want to reach to me for any questions or doubts, this is the email ID you can use. Okay. Yeah, cool then. So